Sometimes you're just screwed. You're facing circumstances that means that there's no way you can file your Form 10Q, your quarterly report, on time with the SEC. You just can't do it no matter what you do. Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty. I'm Brock Romanek, and I'm a big fan of use. Being unable to file your 10Q by its due date can happen for any number of reasons. Many of those reasons typically relate to something is up with your financials or maybe your independent auditor, ranging from having to restate your financials to a complex accounting issue that your finance team and your auditors just haven't been able to resolve yet. Or maybe your independent auditor just up and resigned, or maybe you fired them after a squabble over internal controls, a battle over whether material weaknesses truly exist. So you file your Form 12B-25 to let the market know that you can't make your 10Q deadline. See my separate Vid-Guide about those forms, linked to which is below. But then what? How do you try to appease the market, who likely is killing your stock while they wait with bated breath for your 10Q? Over a dozen years ago, Brink Dickerson of Troutman Pepper penned a great blog that delved into the question of what are the SEC staff's views about what a company can do if it's unable to file its Form 10Q, even after the extension provided by Form 12B-25, because the company's auditors have not completed their interim financials review, its Regulation SX 10-01D review. What Brink said way back then still holds true today, that the SEC staff generally believes that it's best to disclose as much accurate information as quickly as possible, either through filing a Form 10Q that has not been reviewed by the auditors doing their interim review, what I'm calling a 10Q Lite, or a Form 8K. Of course, you may be filing an 8K anyway under Item 3.01 if your company is not in compliance with your stock exchange's continued listing standards, and also maybe under Item 4.02 because your previously issued financials should no longer be relied upon. It's going to depend on your circumstances. So see my separate vid guides about both of those types of 8K filings, Item 3.01 and Item 4.02. And here's an example of what one of those 8Ks looks like. So if an 8K is a vehicle you're using now to get information out, that otherwise would be in a 10Q Lite, you might be disclosing just high-level operating results and somewhat limited other financial data, or maybe you're filing essentially a set of complete financials along with the MD&A that's not quite all the way there yet. This disclosure might be in the body of the filing, in the body of the 8K, or maybe it's part of a press release that's attached as an exhibit, Exhibit 99 to the 8K. Regardless if the vehicle is an 8K or one of these 10Q Lites, Brink says that these 5 things should be disclosed. 1, the lack of a review needs to be clearly highlighted through an introductory explanatory note. 2, the reason for the lack of the auditor's interim review should be disclosed completely. 3, the company's expectations for when it plans to file the final definitive Form 10Q, or maybe it's a 10Q amendment, amending this 10Q Lite that you filed, that should be discussed. 4, to the extent that any numbers should be expected to change as a result of the interim review by the auditors, those numbers and, if possible, the potential outcomes should be disclosed. And then 5, columns containing financial information should all be labeled unreviewed. So, of course, the importance of accuracy here far outweighs the benefits of filing quickly. You don't want to get sued for misleading disclosure. So you should not file either a 10Q Lite or an 8K if you don't have the appropriate level of confidence in the numbers that are disclosed. Unfortunately, a 10Q Lite, that doesn't have the required interim review by the auditors is still considered substantially deficient for 34 Act purposes. So filing one of these 10Q Lites is not going to solve your Form S3 eligibility issues. Your 34 Act filing status is now considered untimely. Getting something filed should perhaps help with investors and the stock exchange relations. It may solve some covenant violation concerns caused by the absence of any 10Q filing at all. Anyways, I could not find an actual example of a company doing one of these 10Q Lites or an 8K that handles this situation. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Let me know if you see one.